The main issues I hear from many of my clients who are thinking of downsizing, it boils down to three things. They don't know what to do, they don't know where to go, and they don't have a plan for any of it. So they're very overwhelmed. They're talking to their family, their kids, their neighbors, and everybody has different plans. And they really just don't know which plan is good for them. There's a lot of options. So they're thinking about moving to a condo. Sometimes they have friends who have moved to the chalet, to the cottage. They have other friends who are renting, for example. And so they're, seeing all these options out there, and they're trying to figure out which one is good for them. And so this is a problem when you're faced with so many options and you don't really know how to put all this together. You need somebody to help you. It's like anything else. And because it's an emotional situation and it's also a financial situation, you need a third party. So typically what I would do with clients who don't know what to do, don't know where to start, is a first meeting and just looking at the options and look at which options could potentially fit your lifestyle, both financially, both emotionally. So that's really the first step, is to clarify the options, look at the options before making any decisions. For example, many people worry about their furniture. They worry about the size of home they have and then what's going to happen to all their stuff. And so again, when I sit down and talk to them about this, we talk about storage solutions, we talk about different options, depending again on where they want to go. Other than having too many options, the other issue is really not knowing where to go. So without knowing where to go and not having a plan, it's very hard to sell your home, right? And this is where I come in. Not only do we look at the options, but we look at the details to put a plan together. So for example, we would look at your home and see how much your current home is worth. We would look at all the options. So for example, renting versus buying a condo versus perhaps buying a cottage somewhere. And each one of these options will come with a different financial and a different lifestyle outcome. So the outcome and the result has to match your lifestyle. So there's lots of things to look at here. Do you want to stay in the same area? Do you want to be surrounded by the same community? Are you ready to make a move and perhaps move closer to your children or move out of the city? There's lots of decisions to be taken here. The decision will be based a lot on the finances. So it's very important that we put you in touch with somebody that can look at, what are you able to purchase? Are you able to purchase a property cash? Are you able to rent a property? Some people also want to consider senior care living or other care services that are available in your area. And so in that case, we work in partnership with specialty providers. When I have these conversations, we're not putting up the house for sale right away. So a lot of people think that when they call a realtor, they have to list their house for sale right away. In my experience, I've met with clients and sometimes it's taken 1 year, sometimes it's taken up to 2 years to put a plan together before we're selling anybody's home. And I think this is something that people don't know. And perhaps maybe not all real estate brokers do this. But in my case, I can tell you that this is my experience working with people who need to downsize, is that there's a lot of planning involved. It's not just, a phone call and then we list the home. And so again, it's figuring out what you want to do, what your options are, fitting your options to the finances, making sure that financially you're going into the right property for your next chapter. And the other thing that I also see, unfortunately, is that because people don't know that we can help them with that, they tend to wait way too long. So I have seen cases where people haven't reached out to anybody and they've just waited and waited. Sometimes the property is neglected. Sometimes, the property ends up being worth less because they waited too long. So even if you're thinking of downsizing like in a year or 2 or 3, that's typically the best time to start the conversation, start the planning, look at your options, get somebody to help you figure out the financial snapshot of where you could be. So in terms of the finances, it's important to get in touch with the right people. Again, depending on your situation, is your home paid off? Is there still a mortgage on it? Do you need money from the sale of your home to purchase your next home? Everybody's situation is different. And this is why it's important that we meet with our clients in advance. And it's important that people know that real estate agents can help putting this plan together. We work with a network of professionals, whether it's lawyers, notaries, people in different financial institutions. We also work with people, for example, in the different sectors of senior care. And so these are the professionals that can help our clients make an informed decision. This is probably a service that people don't know that I offer because I've had many clients in this situation of downsizing over the past 10, 15 years. I've seen every type of situation, and each one is different. And just so people know, I mean, this is a free service, right? So it is a consultation. We meet with our clients, we look at their options, give them their options, and then we put a plan in place. We connect them with the professionals they need. We connect them with a uh, financial planner, or whether it's a lender that we can look at what they can get for their property. So we put them in touch with whatever professional they need. We put the plan together, and it could take up to 6 months, a year, or more to decide that it's time to sell the house. So it is a process, and I think people underestimate the process because, unfortunately, I have seen in my line of work, again, where people waited too long, and it's either their health that has suffered, unfortunately, or the property has been neglected. And at that point, it's sometimes more difficult and there's more work to do. So the advice I would give, even if you're just thinking of downsizing, start the planning process. There's lots to do, and so starting early, it's not a bad idea.